ਗਵਰਨਮੈਂਟ ਹਾਊਸ ਦੇ ਨੇਤਾ ਮਾਰਕ ਹੌਲੈਂਡ ਨੇ ਸੰਘੀ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਦੀਆਂ ਪ੍ਰਾਪਤੀਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਉਜਾਗਰ ਕਰਨ ਲਈ ਪਾਰਲੀਮੈਂਟ ਹਿੱਲ ਤੇ ਇੱਕ ਨਿਊਜ਼ ਕਾਨਫਰੰਸ ਕੀਤੀ, ਜਿਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੱਧ ਰਹੀ ਮਹਿੰਗਾਈ ਨੂੰ ਘੱਟ ਕਰਨ ਦੀਆਂ ਕੋਸ਼ਿਸ਼ਾਂ, ਘਰੇਲੂ ਹਿੰਸਾ ਨੂੰ ਹੱਲ ਕਰਨ ਲਈ ਆਪਣੇ ਨਵੇਂ ਬੰਦੂਕ ਨਿਯੰਤਰਣ ਬਿੱਲ ਦੇ ਪ੍ਰਬੰਧ ਵੀ ਸ਼ਾਮਿਲ ਨੇ। ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਐਲਾਨ ਕੀਤਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਹਾਈਬ੍ਰਿਡ ਸੰਸਦ ਦੇ ਵਿਸਤਾਰ ਦਾ ਪ੍ਰਸਤਾਵ ਪੇਸ਼ ਕਰਨ ਦੀ ਯੋਜਨਾ ਬਣਾ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ।
Over the last 2 years, all Canadians have had to modify the way they work and to adapt to the extraordinary circumstances of the COVID-19 pandemic. And I want to take the opportunity at the outset as we begin to close this spring session to thank the House administration for their incredible work in working with us to adapt to the challenges over the last period of time. I also want to take the opportunity to thank parliamentarians for their work. This was a challenging session as we navigate a minority government in tumultuous times with both world events and COVID-19 placing the challenges that it does upon us. And I think Parliament has worked very well to get a lot done. And I want to take an opportunity today to talk about what we've introduced, what we've passed, and then reflect at the end a little bit on the way forward as we look into fall. It's part of our broader agenda, the legislative agenda, to make life more affordable for Canadians. And as I've mentioned in Parliament, we've tried to reach these challenges in adopting the way that we do business and presenting legislation. But as you would have heard from various ministers outside of the chamber as well, in terms of outside of our legislative agenda, we're working to make sure that life is more affordable for Canadians, that we continue Canada's remarkable economic success story, and that we ensure that no one is left behind and everybody has an opportunity to joy in the prosperity of the nation. With Bill C-21, we protect Canadians from the dangers of our firearms in our communities. We will freeze the market on handguns, attack smuggling at the border, and implement red flag provisions to address domestic violence. With Bill C-22, we brought forward a strategy to reduce poverty among persons with disability. This is part of our broader agenda that has already helped lift, including all the different measures, more than 900,000 Canadians out of poverty, well ahead of our target on poverty reduction, the first targets on poverty reduction that were ever put in place. These are just some of the bills that have been introduced this session. We've done all of these things working with other parties. At times, unfortunately, dealing with a heavy Conservative obstruction. I can say that at the start of the session that we were able to work with the Conservatives in a way that was collaborative on C2 and C3 particularly, and as well, with C3 and C4 particularly. But in most recently, we're seeing a bit of light again as we were able to work on C14. In the intermediate period of time, unfortunately, there was an incredible amount of obstruction. There were 17 times over just the past 14 weeks when the Conservatives used obstruction tactics to block the work of members of Parliament. It often meant that the House was interrupted for hours or days. In a specific example, C8 took months to get through, where we waited and we waited and waited for that obstruction to end. The Conservatives also voted against the government 45 out of 51 times. It's 90%. So while there is one example in the most recent contemporaneous